Hello, sister. Welcome. I wanted to bring through an oracle transmission around temple legacy building and how it can support you while you are walking the path of reclamation and feeling the desire to resurrect your personal temple and what you are here to be in service to for your highest path of service with God and to really allow you to step into that. So, today's transmission is going to be giving you some access to the importance of why building your temple is an important part of your legacy and teachings, and also how you receive your abundance and your deeper offerings and opportunities, and to really build the temple that holds all of that as you continue to walk your path. So, when God assigns you to a mission, and God gives you a divine appointment to that mission. There is a series of events and experiences that continue to happen that prepare you to hold that mission, that move you into the embodiment and the identity that holds that. So there's a very big difference around offering your medicine, offering your services, and like a soul business kind of experience, whether it's online programs, retreats, and in-person experiences or immersions, anything that your soul is gifted and templated in to bring forward. And your soul's gifts are designed to support you and to magnetize your abundance, right? And as you move deeper into your offerings, whatever that may look like, your service path, right? Everybody's is different based on their templating, what God has assigned them to do, and what you are really good at, because your soul's mission is connected to your gifts, which you are really skilled at, mastered. You're mastered in these, and you are able to then bring forward these gifts and these experiences to life throughout the process of your own journey, and then connecting with other souls who are walking the path that you're here to lead, to mentor, to give support to, and to be a reflection of in their own process, right? So, like for instance, me bringing forward this video, there's been a lot of interest in the temple legacy building. And so God invited me to just record this brief video transmission on what that looks like, because it's a very multidimensional process. And it's also a really practical process in terms of building wealth and receiving abundance and really honoring the process of that. So, not everyone is designed or templated to resurrect their multidimensional etheric temple. But if you're resonating with this and you're called to this, that shows that you're in frequency and resonance with it, and that could absolutely be a part of your design and architecture to really resurrect the architecture of your temple that holds all of your lineages and all of your medicine. So going back to like, say you're a healer, you're an oracle, a priestess, a leader, you're a teacher, and you have these offerings. Maybe you do one-to-one sessions, maybe you lead women through extended journeys or programs, maybe you hold retreats, maybe you do body work, whatever it is. Maybe you're an author, you write a book, maybe you bring through video teachings and messages, whatever it is that is the vehicle for your channel of how you express and how you serve. Because these temples are really all about serving God and God's highest timeline for humanity, the New Earth timeline. These are New Earth temples that are given to those of us on the path who are in true devotion and service to God, truly, and want the best for humanity and are releasing egoic will to be in power and sovereignty and right relationship with God, because we know that God's plan for us is way greater than our ego could ever imagine. And sometimes the plan pivots, sometimes God has you step into a path only for it to continue to evolve and change. And trusting that path and God's plan for you is truly a path of faith and surrender and beauty, because when you can lean into the experience of the fact that everything's working out best case scenario, and you can tune into that timeline and tune into that miracle energy where you know God is guiding you somewhere. And through your devotion and relationship with God's source, you are receiving that and you're receiving the steps. So having a soul business is one aspect, right, of bringing your service mission to life and having it be in some kind of structure, right? However, without the temple, without the actual multidimensional temple holding all of that, there's certain places you just can't go. There are certain offerings that you can't birth. There are certain levels of abundance and regeneration and fulfillment that you're not able to access because the architecture isn't in place. So when you're called to having a new earth service-based business in service to God, sharing your gifts and receiving for it financially as well to provide for you and to really connect into your legacy of the legacy that you're here to leave, to be that visionary, to be that oracle with a multidimensional vision to see beyond this reality, knowing that you're creating something that has never been done before and you're resurrecting your own lineage teachings that you have mastered because this is a culmination lifetime and your gifts and your medicine and your magic that you have experienced, embodied, and have devoted lifetimes of, that all gets to come in your temple, and you get to access it through a series of initiations and God appointed led missions that bring those to life, right? So a soul business holds its own frequency. But then when you create your etheric multidimensional temple and you receive that codex and that architecture, that holds a very different frequency. And then that allows your teachings to come through because you've got to build the space, the energetic architecture, the etheric architecture, the grid to then be able to receive that. It's like you have to create the space and the structure for all of that. And God doesn't just give the keys to a child. You know, you don't get the keys to the kingdom when you are in infancy, right? There's a timing that happens. And so you can trust that everything that you've been doing is preparing you to then resurrect your temple. And when it's time to resurrect that temple, which could be now because you're watching this video and you're receiving this, the codex will start to drop in, and then your light body, your field is starting to be open to receive that. And then those instruction sets and all of the downloads, the upgrades and the embodiments, the behaviors, all of the pieces start to weave in. And then once you build the temple multidimensionally, then all of that starts coming in. That's when you start receiving new offerings. That's when you start magnetizing new soulmate clients and experiences that are going to support the temple. That's when your own gnosis starts to deepen, your own teachings, your remembrance from other lifetimes, who you are, how you work in the multidimensionality of your existence, the higher stations of identity, right? The other aspects of yourself, that God consciousness, your connection to the Godhead deepens because God is anointing you through the process of building your temple, that you're ready to receive that and you're ready to hold that. And the beautiful thing is about this kind of work is that as you build your temple, and for me, it's Sanctuary of Sophia, right? Sanctuary of Sophia is my temple. That is my organic codex. That is my mission. It holds everything. It holds many different things. We're multifaceted, right? There's so many different things that can be held in the temple. It's not just one thing. Like, say you've only been doing one thing and you feel your expansion of like new teachings, new things that you want to offer, that you feel guided to share, to teach about, to lead, you know, different retreats, different things that you want to hold and offer, that's going to start to come in more because when you build the energetic architecture and landscape, it stores it. It's like your living library that you can access. And so over time, the temple will hold all of this. So what that means is, say you get a download about something and you know it's not time to act on it yet, but say you're holding the ceremony for yourself or you're in meditation, you start to get the download. You anchor that into your temple. And then when it's time for that thread to pick back up again, you just you pick it up back in because it's stored in your etheric temple. So I know some of this is esoteric and it's very multidimensional, but the way that it works is like it's this beautiful repository and it holds that. And then it allows you to then build your next offering, which will then allow your abundance to also unfold, right? So I was in the soul business for years before I built my temple, but I knew there's something deeper, there's something more. My mission hasn't fully dropped in yet. These pieces haven't fully dropped in yet. And it was because the architecture didn't exist yet. I had to build it. And when I built it, it collapsed time. I shut down my in-person healing business to then be able to create this newer frequency and this opportunity for my teachings, my offerings, my mission codex to really drop in and then lead myself from this temple space, being held in the experience of what it means to really hold a new earth temple and knowing that your legacy is connected to that. And so if you've been feeling like you're on the cusp, on the edge, and you're like, I need space. There's these things coming in. I don't know where to place them, or there's a lot going on. It's time, to really lean into what's the architecture that I'm building, and is my light body in a place of receiving this as well? Like energetically, is my consciousness here for it? And if you're resonating with this indicates to you that, yeah, I'm ready to like start really feeling into this and what that looks like. And so as the temple resurrects, you also are being initiated through it, through experiences and through opportunities, right? Through the extension of your pathway moving through the field. It's just such a beautiful process. I'm obviously so lit up about it because I know what it's like. I prayed just on a personal note. I prayed for my mission to come in for many, many years. I was in deep devotion and just wasn't time. God was preparing me. And so as I was prepared, when it was time, it came in very beautifully and very synchronistically and very much in a way that was aligned for me. So the way that this arrives for you is going to be very organic, and the way it initiates you is going to be very organic. It's going to be an experience of deep soul remembrance. And the women or the men, if you're working with men too in your temple, and however, you're designed to serve, those that come in as you're creating it are supporting you and initiating into it. Those that are meant to come in to help you ground in, it's really so special. And the experience of birthing your temple is also, it's it's unlike anything else that I've ever experienced because it's a true anointing to resurrect the temple that holds the lineages that you carry. And it's so much greater than what you could ever imagine. It's just the beginning of a new way of living, honestly, in that highest path of service. And the identity shifts that come with that, and the miracles and the blessings that come from it, from truly building a temple in service to God and to the Christ Sophia. Because that's what I teach. That's what I teach in temple legacy building, is how to build your temple in service to God, in divine will, in God's natural laws. Because if you're building something that isn't in accordance to God's divine will and natural laws, it will collapse out. That is how it will happen. And that's why things fall out that aren't in alignment in a big way, right? And your offerings and how you provide your services will change over time as well with your embodiment. But when you don't build on God's natural laws and in that service structure, it won't maintain. It can't maintain on the new earth grids and the new earth timelines and frequencies, because those are all being constructed in service to others and not from egoic will, but really of building the temple in service to God and letting God guide that process through you. and initiating and anointing you through that process. So what you can expect when you build your temple is a new way of being, of serving, of connection, of deeper offerings that you're able to serve others, because the temple also holds you, it holds your clients, it hold like any woman who works with me, who comes in to work with me, Sanctuary of Sophia is holding her. It's not just me. And that also takes the pressure off for you to be able to hold even more space for more women and for more people who you're meant to serve, knowing that the temple is also supporting them. And so you're accommodating them throughout your experience. And you can expect deeper offerings to come in. You can expect more of your abundance, your actual soul-led received abundance to come in when you build the temple structure. You can also expect to receive opportunities that are going to expand and open up based upon that. There's going to be a newfound level of magnetism that comes in, and also your understanding of how multidimensional temple building works to build out your offerings as well. And this is something I teach all inside Temple Legacy Building. So if you're feeling called to this, if you know the next step in your path of service is to resurrect your temple, of your lineages, of your teachings, of your remembrance, of these offerings that are here to make the impact that you know you're here to make, and to connect you to the souls that you know you're meant to connect to, I'd love to invite you to reach out to me to chat more about Temple Legacy Building. It's a new offering. It's a private offering that I'm extending out to you. This is all about you activating, resurrecting your temple, building it out to allow for that expansion and for you to be held in it and to receive your own remembrance of what you're here to do, to activate your gifts more strongly and to be able to really serve from that place of power and allow those who are meant to find you in your temple to come in, right? They won't be able to find it until you build it, right? I built it, my whole entire way of serving clients. Like I actually started magnetizing people I really wanted to work with and women who were appointed to come in and to be a part of the mission, a part of the temple. And it was so beautiful because it's like a beacon. Your temple serves as a beacon. And so the women that are holding the lineages, the women that are holding the essence that you share and the pieces that you're meant to weave together will come in, they will find you. And I know I'm saying women a lot. That's just because that's who I work with. But if you're meant to work with men, it's the same thing, right? It's all about intention and building in the intention as well, and continuing to lay prayers down in the temple of what you're building, of what you're creating, of what you are desiring, and working with God in co-creation to do that. So if this is speaking to you and you want to explore it, I would love to connect with you. You can feel free to send me a DM, comment below, let me know how this is resonating with you. Is it activating you? Are you feeling your own remembrance coming in? Because those of us that are here, that are resonating with us, many times too, we're meant to actually construct these temples in the physical, right? Sanctuary of Sophia, right now, she's an etheric online temple, but she is designed to become a physical temple here that will be resurrected. And so all of these things that I'm doing are preparing me to build that temple in the physical. It starts in the non-physical and it translates into the physical. And that's how it all comes to life. All of it. It starts in the multidimensional realms. If you don't have the architecture and you don't build it, it's not going to be sustainable for the deeper transformation, the deeper work, the deeper offerings. It needs a space to go. It needs a place to go. And frankly, the temple is there to support you too in holding it. It's in reciprocity. So I have a beautiful private container. It's called Temple Legacy Building. There's 3 different tiers based on where you're at in your journey and what you want to go into. So the first tier is all about initiating and receiving, which includes a 90-minute deep dive session to really initiate the timeline and the frequencies, the keys, the codes, all of that to really enter into that. My cat's going crazy right now. If you can hear him, I apologize. He's like really excited. So all of the instruction sets, the words, all of this comes through in this 90-minute activation, this deep dive session to go into the field and to initiate and to allow you to begin to really receive all of these things and these behaviors, embodiments, and the belief systems that it takes to resurrect the temple. So this is the first tier. The second tier is a 6-week journey to build and anoint. So it starts with the deep dive session, and then we go into deeper sessions of preparing to build the temple. And then I actually midwife you through building your temple multidimensionally, building the grid. So this is shamanic field work, it's grid work, it's mentorship, it's all of that to actually birth your temple and to support in the process of building the temple and birthing the temple and the anointing of the temple. It's all connected in. So it's through multiple sessions, and it's also through intuitive mentorship that we do in Telegram in between sessions. And so it's a really beautiful 6-week journey of building and birthing your temple. And then the third tier is all about creation, creating and offering the new experiences that are only able to be birthed through the temple. And this is a 3-month journey. So these are the different tiers, and they all build on each other because temples build on each other. The architecture builds, the prayers build, the intentions build. It's all about building your legacy through this experience and tapping into that and the identity transformation that occurs and how your reality shifts, how time collapses, and how these new offerings and the experiences come in to hold you throughout your journey and to support you in your mission. So if you're feeling called and you want to explore this, if this is resonating with you, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook and comment below. Let me know how this resonated with you. I'd love to support you in your journey in resurrecting your temple and to midwife you through the process. I know how powerful it is when we are called and we can feel the depth of what we're stepping into. And it requires such devotion and faith to bring it alive. And there are so many blessings that come with it. So thank you so much for receiving blessings on your journey. And I hope to chat with you soon.